Catherine Hale had built an empire. At 42, she was one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the city. Her life was structured, efficient, and full of headlines about her power. Yet behind the walls of her mansion, Catherine's heart lived for one person, her 9-year-old son Daniel. Daniel had cerebral palsy. His wheelchair and soft voice made him a target in a world that wasn't always kind. Catherine had given him the best doctors, the best school, the best everything. But money couldn't buy what he wanted most, acceptance from kids his own age. One chilly afternoon, Catherine decided to surprise Daniel by picking him up early from school. She stood by the gates, watching children scatter, their laughter filling the air. But then her heart stopped. Across the playground, she saw Daniel cornered by 3 boys. They jeered at him, pushed his chair in circles, and mimicked the way his arms sometimes shook. Catherine's instinct was to sprint across the yard. But before she could take a step, someone else did. A tall man, broad-shouldered, with a limp that made every step deliberate, strode into the circle of bullies. His voice was firm, steady, carrying the kind of authority you don't question. "Hey, enough!" The boys froze. Something in his eyes, battle-worn, unflinching, made them scatter in silence. He bent down, leveled himself with Daniel's chair, and asked softly, "You okay, buddy?" Catherine approached, her chest tight with emotion. She thanked him, but he simply shook his head. "No need, he deserves to feel safe. Every kid does." Later she learned his name, Jack Lawson. A Marine veteran, widowed, raising a daughter alone. He worked odd construction jobs, struggling to make ends meet. Yet in that moment, he had shown her son more protection and respect than her fortune ever had. Catherine couldn't stop thinking about it. A billionaire used to controlling everything, and yet the thing she couldn't buy had just walked into her life. Over the next weeks, Catherine noticed how Daniel lit up whenever Jack and his daughter Emily were around. Jack had a way of speaking to Daniel like he was just another boy. Not fragile, not broken. He invited him to join simple games, modified so Daniel could participate. For the first time in years, Catherine saw her son's laughter fill a room. But there was another side to it. Catherine also saw Jack's struggle. His limp sometimes worsened from an old combat injury. He turned down outings because money was tight. His truck barely started in the mornings. Yet he carried himself with pride, never asking for help. One evening, Catherine made a decision that stunned not only Jack but everyone around her. At a charity gala filled with cameras and wealthy donors, she called Jack and Daniel onto the stage. With her voice trembling but firm, she told the crowd, "Tonight isn't about money. It's about courage. This man stepped up for my son when no one else did. And I realized something. True wealth is measured not in dollars, but in what you give to others." She announced the launch of a new foundation, funded entirely by her company, that would support disabled children and struggling veterans. Jack would be its co-director, ensuring no family like his, or like Daniel's, would ever feel forgotten. The room erupted in applause. Jack stood frozen, overwhelmed. Later, away from the lights, he whispered, "Why me? I'm no hero." Catherine looked at him, eyes full of gratitude. "Because you reminded me that sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who fight battles no one else sees. You saved my son's heart that day. Now I want to help save yours." From that moment, their lives intertwined. Not as billionaire and veteran, but as two parents, bound by love for their children, and by the belief that kindness could change the world.